in the dirt. Say it again, man, and that's a reverse. Never rehearse, jumping in first. Call up the nurse, put the beat in her hearse. This is absurd, can't get berserk. Don't get on the tracks, man, and they better swerve. Don't got a nerve, man, I never curse. Just casting these spells when I'm spelling these words. That's real, that's real, that's too real. I've been Roosevelt, I need a new deal. Trying to figure out what I should do still. I'm really never waiting here too still. I don't even know what I should say at all. Should I jump on in? Should I get involved? God surround me, they love to talk. I take it all with a grain of salt. This work that I'm doing, they never see through it. And all of this rap that I see that they ruin. I came in, I'm trying to undo it. And still they all say they don't know if the shoe fit. I gotta see through it, man, won't be deluded. With all these illusions, I know it's disputed. I gotta keep growing, they see what my root is. I tell you I run this, I'm done with excuses. Give me for a minute, trying to get what I've been giving out.
What you see is that as the judges are going through the call-outs, they're probably going to move some of these athletes around because as they start preparing, they'll notice where the strengths are with the athletes. They'll start moving people around onto that transitional center line.
364 back in line.
As you can see, that center line there, or that center square, I should say, is where you ideally want to be, or as close as possible. We've got obviously 5 athletes on at the moment on
363.
So to me, straight away, the gentleman right in the center there, I think it's 316.
It's kind of hard to make the numbers out. I'm trying to look too, Neil.
I think that is 367.
368 and 366 switch.
So we've obviously got a change here. What the gentleman we were speaking about a few minutes ago with those, you know, those big quads, very, very impressive. Very, very strong physique.
Nice shoulders, nice chest, tight through the midsection.
Gentlemen, front double bicep.
You ideally want a physique where you display, you know, the greatest taper possible. You know, where your midsection is small, broad upper body, you know, bringing that midsection in. Some athletes will bring a transitional sort of vacuum in. Some athletes will not necessarily vacuum.
358,
it really comes down to each individual. And what I would say to you guys and girls at home, it's important that you watch your fellow competitors that inspire you, but don't necessarily hold yourself exactly the same as the athletes that maybe you look at. You have to hold yourself to your best body composition. Remember that. Remember, you're an individual, so you can obviously take elements of some of those athletes, the way that they hold themselves in their presentation poses, but always try to put your own signature on. But you really want to sort of display yourself to your very best ability.
Back double bicep.
That's a good way to put it. If you try to be somebody else, you're really going to beat yourself up, especially in this industry, in this sport. It's a lot of it's genetic.
Yeah, definitely.
Back lat
Some very conditioned athletes there, especially in the rear double bicep poses.
And when Neil's saying conditioning, I mean, looking at their back, obviously, but also look at their hamstrings. You're able to see very nice lines in those hamstrings. These guys are coming in nice and tight.
Please.
Very thin skin, very grainy look. And that's what we're looking for in bodybuilding. We want to see the leanest physiques as possible. We want to see that grainy look. You'll start to see what's called muscle striations, and it almost looks like feathering, if you will, through the quads and the shoulders. When they hit their side chests, you'll see it on their pectorals or their chest muscles, things like that. Definitely some very impressive physiques up there.
Your favorite
gentleman in the middle in the red suit, what is that, 340? Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see the numbers. Yeah, 368 definitely stands out to me.
Relax.
You're commenting on his quads.
Yeah, they're
very dense.
Very dense and very conditioned. Possibly one of the most conditioned as far as like overall package is concerned. It's hard for us to actually see those numbers back here because the light is sort of like blinding those numbers, so it's very difficult for us to hone in on one particular number and then obviously give them a shout out. But as you can see, these athletes are all slightly different with their shapes and structures. You know, to me, the two center guys there,
thank you, gentlemen,
with the red trunks are really battling out between first and second. That's a high level of competition there.
Very high level, and this is the first class of, you know, the Saturday competition, so it's only going to get better.
You know, to me, an athlete which is standing out as far as his condition, especially through his quads, is I think that's 367.
367, yeah, gentleman in the middle.
Very, very conditioned. There you go. We just obviously had another
front double bicep.
Gentleman, I think, feeling that to the left-hand side of the center. Very, very impressive. Great quads.
Front lat spread.
Front double bicep pose. Very, very complete. Carrying a lot of muscle on his frame.
Side chest.
Great lat spread. Very impressive.
Back double bicep
pose here now.
Definitely conditioned once again. Looking at that hamstring, great back on that gentleman.
Back
to the left
spread.
of the box.
Yeah.
In the black trunks. Nice wide back.
So what do you think would have prevented him from getting first call-outs?
Well, sometimes, you know, there's a big lineup of athletes, and sometimes it's not easy for the judges to get drawn to everybody, right? So sometimes, but there's a good possibility that, you know, he's going to be noticed in this, even they've obviously brought the first call-out back. I wouldn't be surprised if the judges have noted him down.
Your favorite, most
you know, he gets maybe brought into the next lineup, because to me, possibly one of the most impressive athletes that we've seen in that class. Definitely, to me, I would like to see him in the first call out, definitely, because I feel that he is really standing out.
Yeah,
and it's not just because he's the best athlete potentially in this group. You know, like, he's made a big impression, I think, on all of us straight away. So I would have liked to see him in that first call out, definitely.
We're splitting this class
right
up in
there,
two groups.
This
is your first group and our lightweight class.
All right, we're now switching over to men's lightweight. This is over 143.25 pounds and up to 154.25 pounds.
Compared to the 371.
371 stands out.
What
yes,
an athlete, right? Very impressive.
Gentlemen,
Straight
front
away,
double
we're seeing
bicep.
a change in muscularity and thickness, right? And the conditioning in that gentleman on 371 is very, very impressive.
His legs look awesome.
Yeah.
His midsection
Quarter
is
turn to
nice
the
and
right.
tight. Very nice, full, round shoulders.
And also competitive 373.
Quarter
Very
turn
great
right.
quads from the front. Great quarter turns. Now this is an impressive
Back
lineup.
double bicep.
Now we're starting to see, obviously, areas of people's physiques that we didn't see from the front. Obviously, those rear poses. These athletes are great. Gentleman in the center there with the black trunks, great rear double bicep, very
Quarter
conditioned.
turn.
Nice
Rock
Christmas
hard.
tree on that lower back as well.
Yeah, very, very conditioned.
Tiny waists.
Perfect
Tiny
quarter
waists.
turns. If you look at his hamstring to glute there section and
front.
his quarter turn, that is a really pretty flowing side
Thank you,
quarter turn
gentlemen.
pose.
And now for your second group in our lightweight class.
This is exciting, seeing that the differences in the athletes there as we go through the classes.
And there's 13 competitors, so we're going to bring them out in 2 groups. And then once again, we'll go for their individual. What is that? 179 stands out to me right now, Neil. See the striations in his quads.
Front double bicep.
Yes, super tight. You'll know when an athlete's in condition because everything is just like in your face without them necessarily, hitting the
Quarter
pose.
turn right.
Who stands out to you, Skylar? You could see us
Quarter
back here
turn.
squinting, trying to see the numbers. Getting close to the TV.
Back double bicep.
I would definitely have to say currently, hold on. The gentleman in the maroon
Okay.
To me,
and
Quarter turn.
this metallic
yes,
blue.
second on the right there. Yeah, crazy rear double bicep. That's a
Face
very
front.
look at the depth from the side there. The gentleman on the second on the right hand side.
And for everyone watching at home, just a reminder, this is a national competition. So the quality of competitor that you're going to see here is very
Thank
impressive.
you, gentlemen.
And in order for them to
Starting off
qualify
our
for
individual
nationals,
round
they would
in
have had
the
to
lightweight
place top
class. Let's
2
welcome
at a local
competitor
or regional
370,
competition.
Sam.
Earlier
Your
shots, a lot of the wellness
lightweight
figure,
class. We're now
bikini.
bringing back
There was
all
a lot
of
of
the
impressive
competitors
talent
to
on
our
the stage
diagonal.
yesterday. It was awesome.
For comparison.
You can't measure success just by a first place trophy because the depth out there is absolutely incredible, right? But as an athlete, we obviously all want to strive to do better. To me, the most important thing is about the learning process. The learning process, looking back and looking where you could have made small changes to potentially bring a different look to the stage. That to me is success. It's about what you're learning throughout the journey, not just what you achieve on stage.
375.
Because you could come second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th in your lineup. The lineup could be
382.
such incredible depth.
Yeah.
You
Absolute
can't
stat.
step away from that and be disappointed,
And that was yesterday. I mean, if you didn't see the first call-outs, you only saw the second call-outs.
Yep.
You'd be like, oh, this must be first call-outs. It was very impressive. And touching on what you were saying, making small
373,
changes after every
375
show is
switch.
great. Get that feedback from the judges. Talk to the judging panel afterwards and see what the judges say. Even if you won the show, you won the overall, you took home your pro card,
Yeah.
still get that feedback because just like you said again, the goal is to be the best you that you can be.
Gentlemen,
And the
front
best
double
people to
bicep.
get that advice from are going to be the people that judge you.
Yeah.
Some very good competition up there. What is that? 371 stands out
Front
to me.
lat
Gentlemen
spread.
in the light blue trunks, if you will.
Yeah.
Quads are just on point. Nice wide lat spread. Very, very tight
Side
midsection.
chest.
Standing out as just being very conditioned from top to rear.
He looks good too. Gentlemen, all the way
Back
to the
double
right.
bicep.
One in from the right.
But that side pose on the gentleman on the second to the left, that's where this gentleman was really shining. Just incredible side chest pose. Got a great rear double bicep. And this is going to be a tough
Back lat
lineup
spread.
for these athletes. Because to be honest, looking at this, they've all got sort of areas which really stand out. And I'd like to see
Relax,
them being
turn
moved
around.
around a little bit. But you could spend 15-20 minutes trying to judge these athletes
379,
because
373
it's that
switch.
close, right?
Yep. Really splitting hairs
Yeah.
at this point.
Obviously we're seeing some changes around the groups here now.
So I'd say the big thing that sticks out to me between 371 and 379 is that inner thighs. 371's definitely got a little bit larger of the
372
legs.
switch.
But you'll notice that he's not holding his quads as tight as he could because he's very impressive. We've obviously put him over there to the right-hand side, and that gentleman's got a lot of thickness on his frame.
Very full upper chest as well for number 379. Great chest size.
Look at that side tricep to the gentleman on the far right. That's incredible.
Absolutely
incredible.
You were commenting earlier on his thighs. I mean, he's got a lot of size down low.
You know, for me, I feel from what we're seeing here, I would probably go for the gentleman who's kind of like in those sort of
your favorite, most muscular,
shiny, yeah, trunks
to the left of the box.
It's just, and also when he's on stage, he's just making it look very easy with his conditioning, very composed.
Yeah, he's not shaking or anything. He's holding it strong.
You can just see.
Gentleman, front double bicep.
He's just where he needs to be, and I feel that he probably feels that in himself physically and mentally. It's going to be very tough.
Face the curtain.
It's going to be a very tough call out, this one.
Very, very impressive physiques up here. And the more he poses, you just see he's getting harder and harder and harder.
Yeah. Very conditioned.
Not shaking at all, like Skylar mentioned. I mean, he is holding it. He deserves it.
Yeah.
He's very confident.
373 and 379.
It's going to be very close. It's not going to be an easy walk in the park.
Now they're moving again, comparing. So it looks to me like 371's kind of setting the standard in this class, if you will.
Is that 371 or 373?
I was saying 371.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just comparing.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, 373 is in the
And
purple
that
trunks.
concludes our lightweight class.
Yeah, that's a great call out.
Next up.
And
I'm sorry.
Second call is going to be
Second call out on our
second call. It's going to be very
I
impressive.
apologize, gentlemen.
And seeing first call outs to second call outs, you start to see they're not as large as some of the other guys, maybe not as conditioned as some of the other competitors. I mean, there's a couple guys up here right now that I feel would do a little bit better in classic.
Yeah.
They maybe don't have the size, hence why they're in second call outs.
374 and 376 switch.
401, Michael Franklin, which is right side of that box, looks pretty good. He looks very dense.
Gentlemen, front double bicep.
Great legs.
Yeah,
Nice
great
Front lat spread.
Yeah, front biceps, a great pose. Very balanced. Very wide in the lat spread.
The gentleman all the way to the right, in like the blue
Side
trunks.
chest.
He's definitely got a classic style look going on as well.
Yeah.
Even the way that he poses is a little bit more than classic style.
And he's conditioned as well, you know. You
Back
can see
double
that he's got
bicep.
conditioning through there.
He's put on some size from last year.
Yeah. It was funny that we both remember him very clearly, right? Yeah, he's very classical structure.
Yeah.
And I want to say
His back pose is incredible.
his back pose and his routine last year was pretty impressive.
Was
I
it?
remember that, yeah.
Side tricep. Abdominals and thighs.
Tiny waist on that side tricep from a lot of these gentlemen. Dusting off the quad.
Your favorite, most muscular.
Yeah, when it comes to the most muscular pose, athletes are going to maybe hold themselves in different sort of body composition poses.
Relax.
Some athletes are obviously going to look better in
gentlemen.
crab pose. Some people are going to look better with
Group of
hands right in front of them. Obviously,
Yes, now
blowing
that
through their
concludes our
midsection as
lightweight
well.
class.
Hands on thighs.
Now we move to our open welterweight.
All right, we're transitioning now to 122.
It's time for
NPC
some
National
comparisons.
Championships. Surprised the stage could hold all that weight up there.
I think there you go to see the depth of talent, right? And the exciting thing about this is that it just goes to show that the industry has longevity here with these athletes. You know, they have such a broad spectrum of high quality athletes at the national level. Obviously, the largest amateur event taking place in the USA.
With their own condominiums, 5+5s, who drop millenniums. It's all about the Benjamins. What? I get a 50-pound bag for the mutts. 5 carats on my hands. with the cuts. It's something you can't figure out with the clutch. Drinking more liquor, driving a bro bigger. I'm with more sippers, watched by gold diggers. Rocking with short denims with gold zippers. Lost your touch, we kept ours. Popping
386, 394, 400, 405, 406, 414, 438, and 726.
I wasn't too far off for my picks of top 5.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one, right? Because there are a lot of athletes which could go pro, and unfortunately, there aren't that many pros going to be awarded in one division. But this is incredible lineup, absolutely incredible lineup.
438 stands out to me. 414 stands out to me.
Jet on the side, right?
726, far right.
Yeah, just incredible depth of talent, gentlemen. Seriously. You know, even the gentleman on the far right-hand side, I mean, it's incredible.
Across the board.
That lineup is just absolutely spectacular.
406, excuse me, right next to me.
It's actually going to be a sad night tonight because there's quite a few of these guys who potentially could go pro.
But like you said, there's only one card they're handing out, so it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. Gentlemen,
and especially on this level, Neil, you know, like Scott and I being promoters and yourself as well, you'll see at local competitions a handful of bodybuilders, maybe 15 or 20, but to see 29 in one class alone, and 20 of them are extremely impressive. It's cool to see that. And this, once again, is just men's middleweight. We haven't gone to light heavyweight, heavyweight, or super heavies yet. And talking with some of the judges yesterday evening, they've got some impressive heavies and super heavies coming up.
Do you know, I'm glad I've just seen that change as far as the lineup, because that gentleman was really standing out to me, the colour gentleman with their blue trunks. Very impressive. We spoke about him when he was doing his free posing.
And what's great about him, Neil, is looking at some of these other guys, he's not the biggest one up there. He doesn't have the most amount of size, but he's got conditioning. Look at the feathering in his quads. Look at his V-taper. What really stands out to me is his nice round shoulders, high, wide lats, and coming down to that tiny waist.
Front double bicep.
The fact that he's standing there head on and his waist looks smaller than anybody else truly stands out. Great quads. I mean, to be honest with you, every single one up there has great quads.
Great arms. Look at his arm development. Right.
Huge biceps and triceps on that front double bicep.
D-corded, separated thighs. That's a very impressive physique. There's a lot of depth and talent on there, gentlemen. For those of you which are battling out there now, you're obviously going to be watching this when you get off stage. Seriously, much respect to every single one of you, because you're incredibly impressive. You know, to me, I keep getting drawn to the gentleman with the blue trunks.
This gentleman?
Yeah.
Great hamstrings. I mean, look at his glutes. His back just goes on for days.
But look at those three gentlemen. They're going with the green, the black shorts, the red. I mean, the blue shorts. The guys who are like at the moment in this sort of center, all very, very impressive.
Side tricep.
To me, gentleman in the blue trunks won that. His waist is non-existent when he pressed in, and his lats were so wide. It's one of the best V-tapers I've seen in a long time.
And that's a great side tricep, right? Pretty. The gentleman there with the green trunks as well. Again, just very complete. I mean,
there you go, Neil.
Those three guys could go pro. Seriously, those three guys deserve a pro card because they are impressive athletes.
And that's, so you're rooting for 406, correct?
Yeah.
So yesterday they gave out 2 pro cards for class winners.
Okay.
The top 2.
Yep.
Why is it in bodybuilding they're only giving 1?
I would say maybe because there's been a lot of pro cards being given out over obviously a period of time, and you know, in some ways I feel that there are too many pro cards being awarded sometimes.
I could agree with that.
And the reason I say that is because, you know, as an amateur, when I was an amateur, I didn't care if it was going to take me 10 years or 15 years or 3 years to win a pro card. It wasn't necessarily my long-term goal. Maybe my long-term goal was to bring a more polished, complete physique to the stage. My point is that the longer you compete, the more maturity you bring into your physique, right? So you really want to nurture the future generation so that when somebody wins an IFBB pro card, they are good enough to be a pro. And you may say, yeah, but he won his pro card or she won a pro card, but it doesn't mean that they would be anywhere competitive in that pro lineup.
No.
And we see a huge percentage of people winning pro cards and never coming back to the industry again. Whereas to me, is like, I'd like to see that there's an extended period of time for you to win your pro card. You have to be like incredible. And if we look at the history of the NPC and go back to the very beginning, Lee Haney was the first ever NPC National Champion, right? And look at the depth of talent. It was incredible. And when those guys were turning pro, they were competitive as pros. And it wasn't because the industry was just smaller then. It's because I feel that the industry was nurturing the depth of that talent. So, you know, in some ways I'd like to see less pro cards being awarded. But the industry has grown so much, so it's kind of like, it's like a juggle. What do you do, right?
And I was going to play devil's advocate with you, but you nailed it on the head. It's the growth of the industry.
Yeah, it's grown immensely.
Before, when you were competing, talking about, back in the 90s, if you will, it was a very small niche. Even in the 80s, it was a small niche. Now, even with social media's presence, I mean, there are guys and girls at our gyms that don't ever plan to step on stage,
but they look incredible.
Could blow out a local competition. Win an overall, no questions asked at a local comp. So it's broad so much. So how do you gauge that? How do you expand? Are there a lot of pro cards? Absolutely. Are there tons of pros? Absolutely. But it's kind of tough to juggle that.
And I think a part of it is social media is growing the industry. But again, like I go back to what I spoke about a little earlier on, the NPC have been very intelligent and smart on growing the industry and allowing people to step into a class and division that suits their physique. Right? They've been very smart and the way they've done it hasn't happened overnight. The industry has grown, but they've been very smart and intelligent the way that they bring these divisions into play. So, the contradicting what I said, there is enough talent out there, for these professional athletes because the divisions are so broad now.
Stay right here.
Relax.
More pro shows too. That's what needs to happen. More pro shows.
Right next to each other.
I mean, this is a great class. This is the second call out, and
everyone still looks incredible.
And another day we were talking so high about how impressive this lineup is, right? As far as this depth of talent.
Back double biceps.
Bad boy for life.
And just watching the industry evolve as well, like looking at the first call-outs. 10, 15 years ago, any of those guys could have been on the Olympia stage. Right? With the talent that you have right now, if you would have put them 10 years back in the past. Now, it's ever evolving, and the local level is getting so tough. But the pro level is beyond belief. And I mean, what you've done with Flex Lewis was unbelievable, and I'm sure you were constantly having to reinvent the wheel with him because everyone was chasing him for so long.
The hardest thing was staying in that division, keeping that muscle alive and staying in that division. It was very difficult.
And for those who don't know, Flex Lewis was in the 212 division. So what Neil's saying is he literally had to keep Flex right around that 212-pound mark. So with putting on size, with putting on conditioning, keeping him at that level, it's impressive. It's very impressive, sir.
Your favorite, most muscular?
If this was the first call out, we'd be praising these guys.
Look at their conditioning across the board with that most muscular.
There's a lot of
front
depth.
double bicep.
But looking at first call-outs, you can definitely tell the difference of what Steve saw being the head judge, why he pulled out. I mean, the first call-outs
that was an exceptional lineup. That was just probably the best division or most competitive division that we've seen so far.
And we're only 3 or 4 in. This is going to be an interesting day, in a good way, a very good way. I mean, we're like I said, we've got one class in classic physique. We're looking at 45 competitors. Some competitions, that's the total number of male competitors is 45. I cannot wait for that class. Unfortunately, the lens is probably not wide enough to get all 10 or 12 guys up there.
You know, some of these athletes are on the slightly lighter side, or obviously this weight division. But again, that gives them time to mature and put that thickness on their frames.
Or also, too, like a lot of them, transition over to classic.
Yeah.
I mean, 417 and 398 switch.
11 gentlemen in this class of 29 that are going to be transitioning over to classic. So that's about almost one-third of the, or over one-third of the class.
420 switch.
So like you said, you've always got your place. The NPC has provided you a place to fit in and find where you belong.
420 and 395 switch.
Judges moving these athletes around here.
420 and 417 switch. 417 and 392 switch.
Even this call out is impressive.
Gentlemen, front double bicep.
We talk about the dedication and the discipline, right, of the athletes. But also, you've got to think of the discipline and dedication that these judges have. You know, these judges are traveling week to week all the way around the country and a lot of time internationally as well, right? They're very passionate about what they do. You know, it's a craft within itself.
Side
chest. You know? Very, very difficult job.
And to have the eye for it.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter what decision you make as
Back
a judge.
double bicep.
Somebody will always have a different opinion, right?
Yep.
And I've seen, you know, I've seen it so many times that these judges do not get the respect that they deserve. They do an incredible
Back lat
job.
spread.
And it's not an easy job. As you being an IFBB judge as well, it's not an easy job.
It's a thankless job, to be honest with you. It tends to be the winner, which is very grateful.
One person.
Yeah.
And then when you give the feedback, they'll thank you. But other than that, I mean, it's tough. And you're always the bad guy as a judge, unfortunately. But I love doing it. I've been a NPC judge for going on 4 years now.
Your favorite most muscular?
It's fun. It's very fun. And even outside of the judging table, knowing what I know and knowing what you know, it's great to help these competitors and watch them evolve, especially with posing. What I really like to do, I don't coach anybody. I don't do nutrition. I don't do workouts. I just do posing. And with the facilities that we have, we've got 2 great posing rooms. So I love taking somebody who's never posed before to
another big
6, 8 months, a year later.
He is a great coach. To me, a great judge. He goes into a judging criteria with an open mind, and he looks at what's in front of him. And he doesn't think about what he saw those athletes a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's a completely open book, and it's judged on that day. He does a great job.
He's been doing it for a very, very long time as well. And talking about the depth of the class, I mean, this is
422, 426, 427, 430, 431, and 432.
And another judge that should get a huge shout out is Steve Weinberger, who is our head judge now, and also one of the owners of the East Coast Mecca, Bev Francis Powerhouse up in Syosset, Long Island, New York. Amazing facility if you've never been there. They've got equipment older than me, and it's a museum of some of the best gym equipment, the best atmosphere, the best athletes that you can.
422
next to Oxygen Gym, which is a facility that I'm dying to go to at some point in time. It's the most impressive facility.
I think that Steve is actually the pinnacle of judging. He's the benchmark. You know, when you think about judging, Steve's name, and Steve is the person that everybody goes to straight away. He's the first port of call, right?
Yep.
And hit a front double
that posing room at his Powerhouse facility is. I'm good.
Look at this lineup here, guys. Front double bicep pose.
That posing room's seen lots and lots and lots of Olympians, we should say.
That's a strong lineup of front double bicep poses. Yeah, the guy with the green shorts now. He's starting to come alive in this group.
Yeah.
You know, when he was on the side, he stood out. When he came individually, he kind of got lost. But now that they're all together, you're starting to see, you know, that physique really starting to come alive again, right?
And also, too, the more time they spend on stage holding these poses, they're getting harder, tighter.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to pop right there. To me, his side chest, he stands out the most. Sorry, what were you saying?
was going to say the depth of that hamstring on the gentleman on the far left-hand side was just absolutely incredible. But yeah, the gentleman, you know, the gentleman with the green trunks. Look at that rear door bicep pose. It just, that is pro standard straight away.
He could pull in a little bit tighter on his legs. However, his back and the detail of his back is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you look at the thickness from his triceps to his rear delt. Notice how he's pulling his shoulders up a little bit higher.
Yeah, he could throw that lat out because he's basically throwing his shoulder blades out of a line. So he could have added an extra couple of inches on that lat spread.
Pick the chest up, pull the shoulders down, and then out.
Yeah.
What impresses me the most about him, you two, is his waist. Look how small his waist is. And one of my favorite all-time Olympian pros was Sean Roden when he won the Olympia. And Sean's waist was almost non-existent at that time.
Side tricep.
420, I think it's 420 or 430. The gentleman with the black shorts, next to the gentleman with the green shorts. He's got a real shot of potentially winning this class as well because his condition is, you know, it's more on compared to the gentleman with the green shorts. But structurally, the gentleman with the green shorts is, you know, structurally a little bit stronger. It's going to be very, very tight division.
Right there, just like you were saying, if you're looking at the gentleman in the black shorts, his legs, he's more conditioned on that lower half. But then you look at the gentleman in the green shorts, the upper half, and it's, I mean, that's lights out on a rear double bicep. It does not get much better than that.
That's incredible.
It's muscle on muscle on muscle on muscle on muscle. I mean, it's so detailed. But once again, there we go. He needs to bring those shoulders down like you see with the other guys.
Yeah, because he looks a little bit shallow in that pose, and he actually isn't shallow at all.
Now he's pulling up with his traps, and that's engaging those traps as opposed to allowing them to open up. It's making them look smaller.
I'd also like to see him pull that shoulder further back. Yeah. He's pulling himself forward, he's making himself look shallow, and he's not shallow at all in his upper body.
And for everyone watching at home, and you're like, oh my goodness, like, this is, for the record, this is what we do. So all we're doing is making these compliments. We're complimenting, but we're also trying to give some input to critique in order to make him obviously look a little bit better. Because at this level, these are little changes that are going to have you either place first or second.
Yeah. I kind of feel guilty because we keep getting drawn to two athletes, but there are 6 guys up there which have all got incredible physiques.
Even down to 427 on the far right. Look at his legs.
Yeah, very, very conditioned athlete. You know, the legs, you know, and the front double bicep on the gentleman on the far left-hand side as well. This is a strong division.
Okay, another thing I want to point out to everyone watching at home. Look who's breathing heavy now, and look who's just staying strong and standing like a statue. And this is what we're talking about when we say posing conditioning. Conditioning for posing is completely different than any other conditioning.
Yep.
You start to see some of these guys are really expelling their gut out, breathing heavy through their stomach, and others are keeping it tucked in and staying strong. And that's one of the things that Steve's doing. He's running these guys through the ringer to truly test who has what it takes to join that pro level. Because once you hit that pro stage, pretty much everybody's on it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's on it.
Who do you guys have winning right now? Green or black?
I would say
Relax,
green.
turn around.
I'm going to go with the gentleman with the green. I'd like to see him a little bit tighter, just a little bit tighter, but structurally he's very strong. But he also looks to me like he's got room to grow. But again, this is the light heavyweight division, so these guys are going to be anywhere between sort of 14 and 20 pounds below the 212 division, right? So there's longevity there, you know, within that 212 division. It's very personal to me because obviously the relationship between me and Wes Lewis, you know, I've been coaching for 19 years. There's like 19 years of history from the very first show until obviously the last show.
Yeah.
Which I was hoping he was coming back to open, but...
You know, it's a shame because I don't think anybody realizes that Flex probably only touched about 25-30% of his true genetic potential, to be honest with you.
One of my favorite bodybuilders of all time.
Seriously, but it wasn't just about what he brought to the stage, it's how he held himself and represented the industry off stage. You know, that is the true essence of a Mr. Olympia. It's not just about the best physique on stage. It's about representing the whole of the industry internationally. It's so important. You know, this is one of the reasons why I admire Brandon Hendrickson so much. It's not because he's my athlete. It's because I've commented about Brandon as an individual before he became my athlete. Traveled internationally representing the IFBB Pro League, supported other promoters, did seminars and events in other countries. Was it a means of marketing himself? Yes, but it was also the ability to positively grow the division, which benefited everybody. He's such an incredible Mr. Olympia. The physique is one side, but Brandon as an individual is just incredible Mr. Olympia on every level.
And that's one thing that's unfortunate. I don't think that enough pros at that top level give back. And a lot of them do, or some of them do. I wouldn't say a lot of them. It's unfortunate, right? With social media and things like that nowadays, a lot of them want to, but they're like, okay, well, it's going to cost you X, Y, and Z, or you know, you're going to have to pay me for this or that, or they want the fame, they want sponsorships, they want stuff like that, as opposed to just doing a seminar for free and helping. I wish that more people gave back to the sport, you know, especially at that top elite Olympian level. We don't see that a lot unless it's something in it for them. And what we do at one of our facilities in Ashburn, Virginia, is we do a posing seminar once a year. But when we do the posing seminar, we set up an entire stage because we also own a production company. So we set up a whole stage, we set up a whole video wall. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's an entire weekend free posing seminar for anybody that wants to come. We'll have Gary. 1 year, we try to get as many pros as we can. Hopefully, Jennifer's going to come this year.
Jennifer, she's coming.
She's coming this year for bikini.
And 419 switch.
Gary comes out. Bill comes out. We've had Becky come out.
We've had late George the Bull come.
Yeah, George the Bull came. I mean, it's a great time. And you know, a lot of all the athletes that come, they don't want anything for it. They just want to come and help out, right? And that to me is so awesome. I wish it happened more often, right? You know,
abdominals and thighs.
But off topic, my favorite picture of Flex of all time. I remember seeing this in Muscle and Fitness magazines growing up. Just mind blowing, man. Mind blowing.
That was a shoot back in the days of Gaspari, you know. Incredible times back then. A lot of history and memorabilia and you know, sentimental moments as well, right?
And that's when I thought carrying a gallon around was cool. So I started.
The gentleman right in the center there with the pinky kind of trunks, very conditioned physique, you know, good frame.
419, 429, and 421 switch.
As you can tell, just the quality of competitors here at this call out compared to the first call outs. And even this call out it's impressive, but the first call outs was mind blowing. Gentleman, all the way to the far left, his conditioning is great. He just doesn't have that size like some of these other guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Guy in the pink trunks, I believe it's 423. He stood out to me earlier. Just his frame. Could work on conditioning like we talked about when he came out for his individual, but still impressive to me. All right, so we're going to pull in the rest of the competitors now for open light heavyweight, and then we're going to switch gears over to open heavyweight. 27 competitors at that. I want to. That's going to be our biggest class for men's bodybuilding. I believe Bill said it's over 100 competitors for men's bodybuilding, which
that's incredible.
Very impressive. Let alone 100 competitors of this tier. I mean, first call outs for every single class is impressive so far. And now looking at this with being third call out, you can kind of start seeing that trend where they're maybe a little too small, maybe they're not conditioned, maybe they need to fill out a little bit more, have a better X frame, so grow the lower half more, grow the upper half more. But still, tons of impressive physique on this stage right now.
Gentleman with the green side chest, great legs. Also the gentleman slightly to the right of the center stage with the black trunks.
Yep.
Very good condition.
Back double bicep.
And watching this industry evolve, or I should say sport and industry, but the sport evolve the way that it is. I mean, seeing first call outs of light heavyweights at a national event is just so impressive. This quality of competitor is so impressive. Like you said, they still got time to grow. They've still got 12 to 14 pounds to put on to be at top of 212. But even seeing them compete now is just very impressive.
Your favorite, most muscular?
Who bought these TVs in the jury? Tell me that. No, I ain't been.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That's actually
that
hilarious.
concludes our open
You
light
see that
heavyweight
deal right there on
class.
the left-hand side? They're watching soccer.
You can keep up with soccer and
Watching football down there.
Well, there you go. If you come right at the top end of
Now
We're
we're
gonna bring
bringing
all
the
27
back
competitors out.
to the diagonal.
In the meantime, I want to give a shout out to another one of our
It's time to
sponsors,
decide
Redcon
the
1.
heavyweight champion for
Redcon 1
2022.
is the global sports nutrition leader, creating only premium formulated products with transparent supplement labels that are backed by science. They offer a complete portfolio of products from single
get
ingredient
ready
supplements
for
to
some
complete performance
comparison.
enhancers. Redcon 1 is sold in over 80 countries with 3 international direct-to-consumer operations and available in nationwide retailers such as Walmart, Vitamin Shop, Dick's Sporting Goods, GNC, many military exchanges, and commissaries. So thank you again to Redcon 1 for being one of our sponsors here. And look at the depth on that stage for all these competitors and open heavyweight. Very impressive.
443, 445, 447.
And just a reminder, this is 27 competitors. We have Classic, that's going to have
460, 461, and 722.
All right, let's see that first call out.
Right, here we go. Look at those
Gentlemen,
quads
spread out.
from that guy in the center. Just absolutely
447.
crazy looking.
I would almost
And
have him
445
spread his feet just a little bit more to give him a slightly better X frame.
447 and 443 switch. Right next to each other.
440 is a very complete package to me as
461
well.
switch. Right next to each other.
447, right there in the middle box. I mean,
722, excuse me.
we were commenting on his legs earlier. It just looks surreal.
448 and 722.
Yeah, that's a lot of
switch.
quality.
722, who they're moving right now to the far end. He's got a very long torso. Reminds me of Nate Diashall.
yeah.
Very long midsection. The amount of talent of these guys up there is very, very impressive.
460 and 443 switch.
I tell you who I like the structure of is the gentleman just being moved. He looks like he's got like a bit of an Indian or kind of like, you know, sort of that appearance facially. I like his flow. I like the way that his shoulders, his waistline. He's got a very, very flowing physique. A great flow to his physique.
Gentlemen, spread
I like the
out.
way that these judges are moving
Hit a
these
front
guys
double
around
bicep.
because
Everybody
from where
move.
I'm sitting here is exactly what I would be seeing.
Yeah.
You know, that those athletes being moved around there.
Front lat
Yeah,
spread.
447 is, he's got some style to him. He hit that front double bicep and then twisted those hips. He's standing strong.
That's a very,
Side chest.
he can tighten up those quads a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your envelopes, time to address the haters.
Look at the detail
Yeah.
on that thigh for that side chest. Look at that detail.
That is very Kai Greenish side depth.
Yeah.
I would
Back
kick
double
it.
bicep.
But look at the gentleman to the left-hand side of
Yep.
him. His area of weakness is his arms. He's a little bit shallow in his arms, especially in that side chest pose. You can see that he gets a little bit exploited there. And he's got quite high lats, but structurally very good. And the gentleman with the blue, I mean, that's
Relax.
a crazy looking rear double
You guys
bicep.
some room. Spread out a
Strong,
little
no
bit. Everybody take a
weaknesses,
step.
dense, conditions.
This is definitely getting you excited right now.
Yeah,
You know, this is cool.
I think what it is for me,
Back lat
it excites me to see that we've got future excellence coming into the IFBB Pro
Yes.
League.
Yep.
And that's what it is. It's more, you know, when I made a comment about there are too many, you know, sometimes I feel that there's too many pro
Side
cards being
tricep.
awarded. It's because some athletes need that maturity and time. You know, they'll become pros, but maybe they need 2 or 3 more years before they're good enough to be pros. So it's like you're nurturing and you're nurturing and you're nurturing. Because there's nothing worse than having athletes who become pros, but they realize they're not going to be competitive and they're not going to be disciplined for 3, 4, 5 years of hard work. Some of them are. But the exciting thing about this division is that there's so much depth of talent there that we're basically replenishing in the pro league within those pro divisions when some of those athletes obviously step back and retire, because careers are only going to last a certain length of time. Longevity and health and well-being obviously is very, very important. Sometimes people rush the journey, right? But this is an impressive. I said it with the gentleman in with the hair, right? Reminds me of William Bonnet, probably more so because of his hair, but he has a lot of quality depth. And if there's anybody who I feel is going to dethrone Ramy this year, I feel it's going to be William.
On the record for the second time.
I'll say it again. You know, like, I don't think people realize the sheer excellence of William's physique. It is an incredible physique.
We had the pleasure of seeing him.
Back lat spread.
Was it the Pittsburgh Pro 2019? He was training at one of the gyms when you were tanning.
Oh, yes.
And we had the pleasure of seeing him. It was off season, but and this was 3, 4,
side chest.
Shoot. Strike me down for one bad word. COVID was, 2020? So this was a year or 2 before that. But what I'm getting at is we had the pleasure of seeing him in person, and it was an impressive physique then. I couldn't imagine 3, 4 years in the making still.
4-4-3.
The gentleman with the blue trunks is impressive to me. Yeah, probably a little bit narrowish clavicles, but you can see that he's putting a lot of depth on those side deltoids to obviously exaggerate that shape and structure. But he's very conditioned.
And something else I want to point out too, the gentleman all the way to the right. Notice how he's starting to run with his tan. He's starting to get a little sweaty. Posing conditioning truly makes or breaks it in this. 447 is still holding it strong. They're starting to all breathe a little heavy, but notice how some are really spilling that gut out as they're taking deep breaths.
The gentleman to the right-hand side of him, very dominant in his quads. Probably a little bit blocking his waist, but look at that front lat spread. It's like Dorian Yates, right?
It's taking up to his armhole.
There's no gaps there. It's very impressive physique. He's very conditioned.
Look how wide that back is. Yes, sir.
The real battle is, I think the gentleman with the hair is the person I kind of go for. He could probably throw his lats out a little bit more. Just because you show a little bit more depth, if that makes sense. But
he's kind of squeezing in on his lower traps. We're pinched a tad.
I just don't see anybody challenging him. It's not because he's way above everybody else. I just think that as an overall physique, he's got the flow, right?
And we could pick apart him to other competitors, but now we're picking apart one guy and comparing him to 2 separate guys. So right there, it kind of just says that
4-4-7 and 4-4-3. Go backstage, but you're coming back out.
And there you go. We're calling off 3 and moving them in. No, calling off 4. 4 guys.
4-5-1.
All right, so Steve just called off 4, so that'll be your top 4. Bringing out a couple more, so technically this would be second call-outs. And even this lineup of second call-outs, if you didn't see the first 4 that Steve called off, you would be impressed with this.
Yeah.
You would think that this would be first call-outs.
Yeah, you would.
All of them have complete packages.
Look at the condition of the gentleman on the right-hand side.
461 and 451.
On far right, black trunks.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
I also like his legs. His legs are impressive.
442.
Tiny waist, very high and wide lines. And a very, very large chest.
442 and 445 switch.
Surfing the avenue, mad at you, where I used to battle to. Back when Antoinette had that attitude.
The gentleman on the far left-hand side who's obviously starting to lose a lot of fluid.
Yep.
You know, that could be the smallest of change can create that environment where you start, and it's not necessarily spinning. There's obviously a manipulation of mineral imbalance there taking place.
So when you say the smallest of change, would that be like a sodium change? Would that be like what do you? You don't have to get too in detail.
It could be the fact that he's too dehydrated.
Okay.
And you would think that that wouldn't take place, or it could be the fact that just adding sodium is going to draw, you know, that enrichment of, say, intracellular hydration and keep that muscle full and basically draw that water into the muscle as opposed to letting it expel it. And sometimes it happens and you can't even understand why it's happened.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes depending, like, because he's losing his tan, it's obviously going to hurt him, right?
Yeah.
His condition is actually fantastic, but obviously he's losing his tan.
Side
so
chest.
Hard to make out that midsection.
he's going to lose points now. But for those athletes which lose a little water, but it doesn't affect their tan, can sometimes enhance their conditioning. So sometimes it can be a good thing as long as it's, you know, in moderation. The gentleman right in the center there, look at the depth in his hamstrings. You know, those guys are battling out on those quarter turn poses. We spoke about the gentleman with the turquoise shorts that or trunks that we like this flow and his balance, and you know, he's on the lighter stage of this division, but he's got a lot of future, I feel, to build upon.
Back last
Tons
spread.
of potential in this. Both of the gentlemen in the light blue shorts are impressive. Nice wide lat spreads from left to right all the way across the board.
Jesus Christ had drift.
Relax, face front.
But I'm planning on growing some. Imagine all the Hebrews going down, dancing on top of chariots and turning tight ones. Ooh, tell me when to go. Talking on my Getro on my way to the stop.
441 and 451.
I mean, this is a perfect example, posing conditioning, because you can see that they're huffing and puffing, while these other gentlemen aren't so much.
Front double bicep.
Posing conditioning is definitely a talent and a challenge in itself. As a posing coach, I mean, you tell your clients that.
Yes, I tell each of my posing clients that they need to work on posing conditioning at home, and then sometimes I will actually just take up the whole session of running them through posing conditioning. And when they start to drop certain parts of their body, you know, you correct them and make them hold it even longer.
And you only get better by practicing and practicing and practicing. I believe the gentleman on the right, one in, I think that's 441. His physique is very impressive to me. Nice tiny waist, very thick thighs, nice wide back, full arms and shoulders. And the biggest thing holding him back,
It's his backside, I feel.
Backside and conditioning. I'd have him come in just a little bit tighter. All right, so now bringing in third call-outs.
449, 450, 454, 464.
Tell me when to
468.
Now let me do
459.
Let me tell you about this hockey movement we got going in the back. When I say something, you say it right back at me. You said we're gonna do it like this here. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Now scrape.
450 and 446 switch.
And even this call out, they look
very impressive.
But obviously they're missing something that didn't get them in the top call out.
Looking at these guys, I'd say a lot of it's just size.
Yeah.
I mean, the gentlemen that were in first call outs were
454 and 446 switch.
Now fear face. Doors open, man. Doors open, man. Doors open.
Front double bicep.
Now watch them swing. Watch them swing. Now
the gentleman in the middle in the light blue trunks, ending at 4'4".
Front lat spread.
His physique is impressive. Great conditioning.
And we will also see him in
midsection.
Classic. Which I can see him doing better in classics than in bodybuilding.
I can see that. I think it's just a little bit too small right now for the way it sits.
Yeah.
Side chest.
Great side chest across the board. Back to that gentleman I was talking about. His midsection is on point with his conditioning. The gentleman to the far right, he was a lot larger. Some of these other guys, just not as detailed on that rear double bicep as some of the first and second call-outs. It could also come in a little bit tighter. He's fairly tight through that midsection. You can start seeing a little bit of skin fold there, a little bit of excess skin as he leans back on that lower back. Tricep. Hamstrings are pretty tight, but you can also see under his glutes, he's got a little bit of excess skin.
Abdominals and thighs.
Great quads. Tight midsection all the way across the board from left to right. I mean, this is an impressive call out in itself.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And there should be one more group coming out here. Fourth call outs now for men's heavyweight.
Front double bicep.
An awesome group through and through. You can start seeing there's a little less conditioning and a little less size in this fourth call out.
Spread.
But still very impressive physiques. And some of these guys we will also see in classic physique, as well as one we'll see in men's physique.
444 and 455.
The shape of 445. 480. Can't see 465.
Side chest.
The gentleman in the middle with his tiny waist, that when he flares out his lats, he looks really good.
Back double bicep.
With him, I mean, I would say just size, and he'll get that top call out.
Back lat spread. Side tricep. Abdominals and thighs.
Great midsection for the gentleman in the middle. I think you said 445.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And that was fourth call-outs, which says that first and second and third was impressive.
447, 448, and 460.
All right, so we're bringing out
it's time to make some noise.
Top four of the heavyweight class. We're going to let them battle it out again. We sent them to the back, went through second, third, and fourth call-outs. And now, thank you, sir. And now here we are, bringing out top four again to have them battle it out. So they've had a little bit of time to relax, catch their breath. And I feel like this is going to be a battle Steve's going to run them through right now.
460 and 448 switch.
All right, so we got Neil back on. So Neil, they finished out all the call-outs, went through four call-outs, and now we brought out top four for Steve to run him through a battle yet again.
Well, I think this just goes to show, right, the passion the judges have to bring these athletes back on stage for them to feel comfortable that their decisions, you know, are the right decisions. Because this is such a competitive, like these guys on a different day could all go pro. Yeah. You know, these guys could all go pro. It's very, very competitive. You know, to me, the most conditioned athlete is probably the gentleman in the blue trunks as far as like overall conditioning. And then we've got the flow and the balance of the gentleman on the far right, just a little bit shallow in his arms. You've got obviously the density and the just like the creative structure of the gentleman, obviously in the center, the gentleman with that, you know, the hair. But, I mean, look at the gentleman, look at the blue trunks. Look, see this is an area that he's exploiting his conditioning, right? Yep. We said that when he had his last call out. But the lower half of this is impressive.
And the lower half of the gentleman in the far left, I mean, his hamstrings are popping.
Yeah.
My eyes keep getting drawn back to the gentleman with the bun on top.
Yeah.
I wish he'd do, yep, see, there you go. I wish he'd push that shoulder just a little bit further back or keep it, hit it, and hold it.
He's actually holding himself better this time than he did obviously earlier on.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's showing his physique better.
And boom, that's a great shot for him right there. Ab and thigh, nice and tight. Hold it, hold it, hold it. That is conditioning right
Your
there.
favorite, most muscular.
But then looking at how hard the gentleman on the far right's getting, look at the striations in his quads. I mean, his legs are literally popping. They're three-dimension coming out at you through the television right now.
And that is your heavyweight class.
That was one heck of a class.
Yeah.
That was good.
Steve, you've done an awesome job. Mind you, not just Steve, all the guys. I mean, Steve is obviously head judging here. But that just
a lot of the time, inexperienced competitors feel like they need to squeeze the muscle 100% the entire time.
Yeah.
If you squeeze it 100, what I tell a lot of my guys and girls, squeeze it 100 and then back off like 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to burn out if you squeeze it 100%. This isn't strongman.
Yep.
And by backing off 15 to 20%, it's going to allow you to relax a little bit. And as a judge, we're not going to notice whether you're giving it 100 or 85. But what it's going to do is it's not going to burn you out.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these guys, they're just trying to squeeze everything as hard as they can, causing them to shake, causing them to burn out.
469, 471, 474.
And that also comes down to posing conditioning.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some big boys up there. 474.
469 and 466 switch.
It's like a mountain. Very impressive.
I mean, 474 there just looks like on a whole new level, right? Just ridiculous different level.
If you take him out and you're looking at the guys, you're like, holy cow, they're big. Then putting him in the mix, you're like, this gentleman is massive.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, front double bicep.
All right, so I really like 471, how he's got one leg out, his hips are kind of tilted. It's not the traditional front double bicep that you see in bodybuilding, but I like that little flow with the hips out on that pose.
Well, that's about, you know, hidden poses, you know, for you, right? Yep. So, and it suited him. Some people which structurally are weak are going to look bad in that pose. But it definitely allowed his structure to be more impressive, I felt.
With that little hip twist, it makes his waist just a tad bit smaller.
Yeah.
Thick thighs like that complimented him a lot.
Yeah.
Back double bicep.
I think the only thing really holding Big Boy back is just his conditioning. Because if you're looking at the lower half of the gentleman in the middle, his conditioning on his glutes and his hamstrings really pop.
Yeah.
Now he's clearly outsized by the larger guy, but at the same time, just that conditioning. So like you were talking before, you want to find that balance of conditioning and size and everything else that's going to make it.
474 and 471 switch.
Had a little head nod. He said, yep, I'm standing right where I am. Keep me inside this box. The goal is to make it in that box and stay in that box.
Side chest.
The reality of this lineup is once you're in that box, the judges are not looking to keep you in that box. They're looking to take you out of that box.
Yeah.
You know, firing squads on you when you're in that box. So you need to hold it and stay strong while you're in that box.
The gentleman in the maroon all the way in the end.
Yeah.
Back lat
amazing
spread.
backside.
Yeah. Yeah, look at his lower half. It's just alien looking, right?
It really is.
Take that as a compliment because that's impressive.
Side tricep.
Touchdown, hey. 100 bands in my pocket, it's on me. 100 deep when I roll like it on me. Get my
And gentleman in the middle with the black trunks is just getting harder and harder as he's posing. It's unbelievable.
He's getting dry.
And more vascular.
Just dry, hard.
Yeah, look at that. Side tricep from his chest to his delts to his midsection, his quads, even his back leg, his support leg is just on fire right now.
Yeah.
Losing a little bit of core control there, but he's covering it up quick with his hands.
You know, look at the dryness and the hardness throughout that muscle. You know, because there's areas of his physique where he's lacking muscle, but what he's done is he's brought such extreme perfect conditioning that your eye is getting drawn to all those positive elements that he's got on stage, right?
To all of his pretty parts, taking it away, distracting you from the parts that are lacking thereof.
Front double bicep.
And that's another thing that I do appreciate about Steve is he is running these guys.
Front lat spread.
Yeah, he's working them super hard.
I still can't get over how huge 474 slots are.
Side chest.
He's a big boy. I mean, it's lights out right there on that side chest for him, for the gentleman in the middle. The way that you can see the Y coming up for his glute to his quad and straight down. I mean, it's impressive. It's undeniable. And he's smiling. He's feeling confident. He's feeling good.
Yeah, he knows today's the day.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All that hard work.
Well done, guys.
And once again, as soon as he wins that pro card, he's low man on the totem pole in the pro league.
Yeah.
It's back to the grind again.
Yeah, it's back to day one, right, in the office. But it's a new exciting journey then.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it's the excitement of new challenge and adventure.
And the doors that the IFBB Pro League opens for you are great. The relationships that you build in the Pro League, the opportunities that you're going to gain by becoming a pro. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're lucky enough to be sitting here at this event, is because of the journey that Skylar has taken and we have taken through this sport so far. And just compared to you, the short amount of time that we've been in it.
You know, don't take this out of context,
475 and 467.
I feel that because America is so vast and big in so many states, a lot of people from America are not traveled experience because there's a small percentage of people from the US actually travel outside of the US,
right? To be outside the US, unfortunately.
Which is great in some ways, but it's also a shame because we live in a beautiful world and culture and history and seeing and experiencing other things in life. If somebody said to me, Neil, what do you want from life? Of course I want health and happiness, but the ability to explore new things, and that is travel. The IFBB Pro League, with all these incredible promoters around the world, right, in so many different countries, allows you as a professional to travel to new locations, new ventures, new stages, new audiences, new experiences. So some of these athletes who are going to be new today could be having a new life experience as an athlete, traveling all around the world. And that to me is just something magical, to be honest with you. And it's me, who's in the industry, who has the opportunity to travel the world and go to all these different amazing places and meet the fans and meet the consumers and meet the next generation of athletes.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parts of what I do.
Yeah.
The next generation of athletes, the next generation of promoters, the next generation of this sport and this industry in its entirety.
Because we talk about just the competition here, but the IFBB Pro League is so much bigger than just America, right? Yeah. It's international. And there is nothing or no federation which could even try to go toe-to-toe or stand the length of time and excellence that the IFBB Pro League and the NPC, and certainly the branch out of the NPC worldwide, right? It's created a huge ripple effect.
Oh, yeah. And what's impressive, too, is shout out to Jim Mania for making all this possible, founding the NPC in 1982.
Yeah.
I mean, 82 wasn't that long ago, right? And look at how far out the tentacles reach.
Yeah. But also, you know, the way that Tyler's coming into that position, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's young. And because he's been nurtured from such a young age, right? He's part of that. He's part of the history from a young age and has been matured and groomed indirectly, right? You know, to his position. It's exciting that you have longevity, just like what we have in the industry here.
And I mean, at some point there will be passing of the torches. You know, Tyler being the vice president now, he's going to have to build a whole team around him, around his age, that's going to run for the next 30 to 40 to 50, 60 years. You know, and that's one of the things Tyler and I are very happy to do, is to be part of it. Especially at this time right now with so much.
Please rise for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang aloud, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of bodybuilding and your host for the 2022 NPC Nationals, to the stage, Bob Ciccarello.
All right, how we doing, everybody? Great to be back at the National Championships, the NPC Nationals, folks. This is what started it all back in 1982, our flagship National Championship, and we've had lots of big names, great names to go on in bodybuilding history, including Vince Taylor, Jay Cutler, Sean Ray, Rich Gasperi, who's here tonight. But the man who was the first gentleman to wear that title, and he wore it, I would say, pretty good, is here tonight, folks. So let me have the pleasure of introducing your first ever 1982 national champion and 8-time Olympia champion, Lee Haney. All right, well, Lee, welcome back to the stage that you built literally back in 1982. Can you just give us just a little taste of what it was like, Lee, when that name was called, and there you were, national champion and new IFBB Pro?
Well, I tell you what, man, it's 41 years ago. I mean, I had hair then. But you know, what was so amazing is that journey had begun for me as an 11-year-old kid, wanting to grow up and become Hercules. I still remember the age of 17. I got on my knees one night before going to bed and I prayed. I said, Lord, if you see fit to make me the best at this sport, I wanted to be the best that I love so much, I'll go before the world and give you the praise and the glory. Yes. So it's apparent God saw something. And so 8 Mr. Olympians, later chairman to the President's Council, trained people like Evander Holyfield, Gary Sheffield, Shannon Sharp, Steve Harvey, several different businesses, the International Association of Fitness Science, Lee Haney Nutrition, Manor Properties Holding, all of those wonderful things that came about from my passion of bodybuilding, but more so from the fact that God blessed me and I chose to honor him with my gifts and my talents. And that's something I try to press upon the younger athletes. Honor God with your gifts and your talents. Impact the world for good, because it's all about reaching back and being a good ambassador in the world. So that's what this is all about. And I really want to say to the fans, the family members, the friends that came to support these athletes, continue to do so, because it's you that make this thing happen. And God bless each and every one of you for having a part for the success of the NPC. Thank you.
Well, Lee, as ambassadors go, you are the best one we've ever had, the best one we have today, and the best one we ever will have. And Lee, just want to say on behalf of everybody in the bodybuilding community, it's been a pleasure. You've been the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Of course, you achieved those dreams, and it all started on this stage here tonight, Lee. So thank you for doing what you do for the sport of bodybuilding, and you get to watch the Nationals for once, Lee.
Hey, make sure you cheer them on, guys. Love y'all. Thank you. Let them know how much you appreciate them. God bless you all.
All right, our gentlemen in place. All right, here we go. Andy, please take the 5th place award. To number 366, William Morera. In 4th place, number 360, Chris Elkins. Finishing in 3rd place, in front of the 363, Cher Lee. And let's take that first IFBB Pro card to your runner-up. Number 358, Robbie Camarado.
But there we go.
And your winner and new IFBB Pro, Scheiser Rana.
Overall bantamweight champion.
First place, get 2 pro or handing out 2 pro cards for first and second
your
place.
favorite pose, please.
That look makes me smile.
So now what would you suggest for these guys? Bantamweight, they're light.
We're going to have Scheiser stay
They're a little
right
bit
there.
smaller. Would you suggest, once they hit the pro level, like the 2 of them just have, would you suggest 212? Would you suggest classic?
I would say let their physiques make their choices, right? They have the ability to grow into their physiques. We only have to look at Sean Creeder, right?
Amazing physique. Matt Jansen as well, right?
Yeah, Matt Jansen.
All right, national champion, our bantamweights. We're going to see Scheiser back for the overall. A little bit later in the program, folks. Right now, we're going to turn our attention to our next class. This is your
like
open
8, 9,
lightweights.
10 years ago.
I'm going to be excited to see this pose down.
Here we go. Andy, take that 5th place award.
It's going to be very,
number 372, Philip Benton.
Our light heavyweight and our heavyweight classes impressed me a lot.
Finishing in 4th place, number 382, Joel Verstradt. Finishing in 3rd place, number 379, Kristen Restrepo.
So she gon' call her friends, now that's a plan.
That's great.
I love that.
Take that
They don't care who's first or second, right? They're happy, right?
Matt Edmond.
She said she too young, don't want no
Yeah, that's great to see on stage, right?
And your winner and new IFBB Pro,
Congratulations,
David
guys.
Carter.
Congratulations to Matt Edmonds and David Carter. Matt, number 373 in 2nd place. David, number
Gentlemen,
371
your favorite
in
pose,
1st place. We will be seeing David again here shortly for the overall. Congratulations to those guys. After a couple pictures from
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to have
down
David
front
stay right there.
taking the shots for NPCNewsOnline.com. We're going to switch over to open welterweight. Open welterweight is 154.25 pounds to 165.25 pounds. So anywhere in between that realm. We had 11 competitors earlier.
All right, David, your lightweight national champion. We're going to see him back for the overall a little bit later. Thank you, David.
So we're going to bring out
and with that, we will
fell just short
open
top 5.
welterweight.
I know Bob always has to go out with his suits above and beyond, but I'd still give best dressed to Tony Roberts.
Yes.
Yeah, he's prestige.
Yes.
And he can wear that with style. He's like 007. Meticulous, perfect hair.
Every time.
Every time.
Shoes on point.
Everything.
Always has the pink
His
ring.
cufflinks are even in great.
So regimented.
So no disrespect, Bob Chicarillo, but we got to give the award to Tony.
Tony.
Take that first IFBB Pro Card to your runner-up this evening, Mark Tompkins.
There you go. You called it. We were talking about him earlier. He really stood out to us during prejudging.
IFBB
There
Pro,
he is, number 390.
Kevin
Sarah.
Tons of potential in this sport. Like you said, he's got plenty of room to grow. He's got plenty of room.
Gentlemen, your favorite ball, please.
Go over to Classic. I mean, tons of potential, tons of room. And now that he's opened the door to the IFBB Pro League, tons of time.
Yeah.
There's no rush for that.
No.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're going to have Kevin stay right there.
I love that. All right, we're going to move over to open middleweight here next. In the meantime, I want to give another shout out to one of our sponsors, Gaspari. Gaspari Nutrition was founded in 1998. Their mission is to produce the highest quality science-based.
They're the things that's the basis of everything. Right?
It's a great way to put it.
Don't try to make it easy. If you have the ability to choose exercises which allow you to maximize
let's take that fifth place award to number 394.
And maybe it's not a compound movement, but it creates the result, then that's great.
Finishing in fourth place, number 414.
Certain compound movements or compound movements in general, they potentially create
in third place, number 405.
the most amount of long-term stress when it comes to joint. But it also depends on the application of how you perform the exercise. Right?
Earning his IFBB Pro Card, your runner-up this evening.
When we train, our bodies will look for the easiest movement pattern, which potentially then brings in secondary muscle groups or potentially becomes unstable with the joint. Where injury prevention goes down and injury potential goes up. So you're in control of those things.
All right, gentlemen,
you need to do
your
the things
favorite
that you
pose,
don't
please.
want to do.
Yes.
But
also, too, being smart about it. And if you need to supplement or you wish to supplement things because you don't want it to be injury prone, it's okay to make certain changes.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
But at the end of the day, if you want to put on that size, stick to the stuff you don't want to do.
I think that dense muscle comes from the application of effort and exercise selection. Maybe some people won't have to choose certain compound movements because they have such a hyper-responsive muscle group. And so, of course, you don't need to do those because you don't want to become too dominant in an area.
Yeah.
And that is number 438, Jake Troll, along with Saquon Mitchell, winning both of their pro cards.
Thank you, Jake. We will
Saquon, number 406 in second place. Jake Cole, number 438 in first place.
Our open
We're going to see Jake here in a little bit.
You can have the other gentlemen join you on
Tony keeping them in check.
Light heavyweights.
It was great when we had him over for Thanksgiving. He was expediting people setting stuff up.
And let's take that fifth place award.
It's like second nature to him, Neil. He doesn't mean to do it. He just put that over there, move that there.
And he'll just the two finger. It's a two finger.
Take the turkey out the oven.
Oh, he was cutting it up and he was saying, you know, go ahead and put the tray over there. Tony's a great guy. Tony and Victoria.
Finishing in third place, number 430.
Great.
Marino.
Great.
Nunez.
And then there were two. We've got Scott and Nicholas.
Take that first IFBB Pro Card to your runner-up this evening, Scott Vogelsonger.
Yep, so 426, Nicholas Jackson taking that first
And
place.
your winner and new IFBB Pro, Nicholas Jackson.
We were talking about him earlier. You made a couple comments about how awesome his physique was, picking him apart. There really wasn't too much negative to say about it.
Gentlemen, your favorite pose, please.
I would say constructive comments.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Picking him apart in a constructive way. Dissecting him in a positive way. Look at him. It's bingo.
That's immense.
Incredible.
And now, moving over to open heavyweight,
Thank you,
we have
gentlemen.
27 competitors.
We're going to have Nicholas stay right there.
198 and a quarter pounds up to 225 and a quarter pounds. And I would say to you, too, this is the most impressive class that I've seen today in bodybuilding. With 27 competitors, at one point, all of the first lineup, the first call-outs, if you will, across the board, from left side to right side and back, their rear double biceps just
Light
blew me away.
heavyweight national champ. We're gonna
One
see
after the
that.
next, after the next,
Going for
after the
that
next. By
overall.
far the most
Just
impressive
a few
class
minutes
that we
as we
saw,
move
or at
on
least
to
that
our
I think we
heavyweight.
saw during the
Thank you,
division
Nick.
today.
Yeah.
And now we're lucky today's
Just
game.
guys join you on stage. Our top
During the
five.
Olympia, we're going to see a ton of different physiques.
Yes.
You know, we're going to see some mass monsters. We're going to see some small waisted guys. We're going to see some guys in the middle. I mean, it's awesome to see how this industry just keeps evolving.
All right, let's take that fifth place award to number 453, Chris Knox.
The athlete that I get drawn to is 460. The athlete
In fourth place, number 443, Nick Bono.
take that first place today is going to be 457.
Finishing in third place, number 460, Sid Prime.
And you have two new pros. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mr. Luis
First pro
Santa.
card, your runner-up this
Congratulations
evening.
to both of these competitors. 448.
John Arthur
447.
Duncan.
There you go. You called it.
And your winner and new IFBB Pro, Walter
Neil, it's kind of
Dunn.
crazy. It's like you know what you're talking about. You keep calling the winners, man. It's like you got an eye for it.
I don't know these athletes, but you know, when you sit here and you're able to take it in and appreciate what's in front of you, you know, like as I said, my favorite shape and structure is 460.
Yep.
But the person I feel should have won and has won.
Gentlemen, your favorite pose, please.
Because I see the separation, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Deeper lines.
just
time
density
for
around
waist,
us.
right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're going to have Walter stay right there.
Zero. If he fills that frame, you can imagine it's just going to be the illusion, right?
Yes.
It's going to be overwhelming. The time's going to come.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And if it doesn't come from now until 365 days from now, I would highly suggest coming back here and get what you deserve.
You know, he had a great place, a very fair place, and I thought that the judging today has been incredibly good.
Steve Weinberger is our head judge running everything. We talked before, amazing judge, best in the business when it comes down to it.
All right, your
And now we're
favorite
coming
pose,
down
Walter.
to the big, the bad, and the
Your
powerful.
new heavyweight national
Open
champ is going to
super
be back in the
heavyweights. We
overall.
have 14
As we
competitors.
move to our last
Super
class
heavyweight is going to be
This
any
is your
competitor
super
over
heavyweight.
225 and a quarter pounds.
Yep.
These are the big boys.
Four gentlemen joining him on
Lining up
stage.
the super
Top
heavies
five
on the
super
diagonal.
heavyweights.
The last class of the competition. And then we go to the overall.
Let's take that fifth
We've
place
got
award to
five
number
big bodies standing
466,
on stage.
Joe Cavalier.
Two pro cards ready to hand out. 4 bodies left.
Finishing in fourth place, number 480, Austin Simpson. In third place, number 474, Vincenzo Massoni.
And there were two.
So close.
Two new pros.
Please take that first IFBB Pro card to your runner-up this evening. Ryan Foster.
And there you go, Matt Jansen,
And
right?
your winner,
Yeah,
and new IFBB
congratulations,
Pro,
Matt Jansen,
Cole
on another
Eastbowl.
win, another pro. And congratulations to Cole Eastbowl.
All right, gentlemen,
number
your favorite pose,
469 for taking home that first place and that pro card. We're going to get a couple pictures and we're going to see Cole battle it out one more time here at the 2022 NPC National Championships for the men's
All right, thank you,
overall
gentlemen.
bodybuilding.
We're going to have Cole stay right there in the center.
And we've said that at this point how many times? All right, we're going to bring out our bantamweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight, and super heavyweight.
All right, congratulations, Cole. You're super heavyweight.
I'm really feeling the heavyweight. I got to see them next to each other before I make my call, but I'm feeling the heavyweight. I was
a little bit of work to do, folks. He's going to go backstage, take that settle off, and come right back out. Time for our overall. Looking at winners of bantamweight and super heavyweight
together
on
like,
stage.
Yeah. I do feel that the heavyweight potentially has
folks,
the
this is
advantage
it.
as far as
First time these
density,
gentlemen
but
are
let's see
facing
when
each
they're all
other,
lined
each
up,
winning their
right?
respective
Because I've seen it
divisions.
before. Middleweights can win, light heavyweights can win.
Oh, yeah. Last winner is on stage with only one.
You know, we can't forget the lighter.
Be as loud as you want, everybody. Try to help these judges in making their decision here tonight.
You know, even the light heavyweights
looking pretty nasty.
With that, we're going to send it down to the judges. Who's on there?
It's
Billy.
Tiny waist.
Thank you, Bob. Gentlemen, quarter turn to the right.
When I'm looking at this, what I get drawn to is the light heavy and the heavyweight so far.
Yeah.
Just because of the density, right?
Quarter turn to the right.
Sounds like Bill Sibilia, I think, on the mic right now. Yep. Another great guy, another great judge.
But this is where, to me,
quarter turn to the right.
The heavyweight exploits, you know, that area from the rear, just on that rear pose.
Yeah.
Let's see how they go. I mean, to me,
quarter turn to the right.
Between the light heavyweight and the heavyweight. I agree with you. Just because there's so much density.
469 and 39 switch place.
Condition.
447 and 438 switch places.
All right, so we're putting the heavyweight in the middle. We're going to be comparing him to the super heavy on the left side and the light heavy on the right side.
Gentlemen, front double bicep.
That's one thing that I liked about the heavy, is that little twist of the hips, tighten that waist up. I got to go with the heavy on that one.
Yeah,
his midsection is just on.
Side chest.
But it's this whole upper body, right? Matches his lower half, and he's got hardness, he's got density. I mean, look at that side.
That separation from his hamstring to his quad is
very
face the rear, back double bicep.
He hasn't even opened his back yet, and it's hard to take your eyes off. And all the competitors up there look unbelievable, but we talked about this too, Neil. We wish he would open up his lats just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. Don't go into a lat spread, but just open up that a little, because it's going to give you that little bit of extra width.
You'll get at least 2 or 3 inches out of it.
Because you've got so much depth.
Side tricep.
What do you think, Skylar?
What was the gentleman in the green? What was his?
He's a light
heavyweight. Oh, sorry, the light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, right there.
Green is light
Yeah.
heavy. And then
Face front,
I like his
abdominals
backside
in
better
one
than
thigh.
447. I think it looks tighter.
I am going to make a decision.
Your favorite, most muscular.
And let you guys have your moments. I'm going to go for the heavyweight.
Heavy? I'm going heavy.
Gentlemen, you have 30 seconds to pose down.
All right, Freddie, hit it. Gentlemen, for the title.
I would say 1 or 2 poses that the heavy got. Other than that, it's very similar. And now they're having fun with each other. This is what it's about. I love it when they go head to head.
I was going to say, I want them to turn it back more times.
I mean, at this point, they all won, right? They're all pros. Yeah, they're all going to find each other again on the stage.
I mean, look at the bicep pose. Kind of green trunks, right? That's spread.
Almost all the way to the right, very wide.
Incredible.
I'm still going to go with green, even though I probably know
So you're going
heavy.
It could well go for the green. I mean, if the guy in the green wins, it's because he's just got a great flow.
Yeah.
He's got beauty, right? He's got great conditioning. conditioning. It's going to be very, very close. And we will soon find out. And the only reason I'm not going for the super heavyweight is because I just feel that he needs more thickness in his chest, his arms, his delts, his back.
Outside quads too.
You know,
Throw his legs a little bit more.
Just that upper body needs that density to compete against these other guys. But we wait and see.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a fun
made their selection.
That was
Who's
a
going to win
fun
it,
overall.
folks?
We'll see what happens. All right, I'm going 447. Neil's going 447. Skylar's going 426.
Please welcome Tyler Mannion.
I think you guys are right. I think
wait and see.
All right, Tyler, please take the first place award, the title of 2022 NPC Overall National Champion. To our winner, Walter Debs.
Yes, 447 to the heavyweight.
Big congratulations, guys.
This is awesome. Good sport.
I don't think anyone's right other than that. That was a very competitive year. That's a great call. Big congratulations to all of the athletes. You know, for those athletes which didn't make it.
And there's Tyler Mannion, the vice president of the NPC and IFPB Pro League.
Tyler.
He washed his hand off so quickly.
All right, thank you, Tyler.
Really, really impressive, Joe.
Folks, we have crowned a new national champion for 2022. History made once again here at the Nationals.
Excellence to Orlando for another NPC finals.
Absolutely. So thank you again to the NPC, the IFPB Pro League, the Manions. Thank you for Yamamoto Nutrition. Thank you, Neil Hill, for being here with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Skylar Lanier, for being my co-host. So once again, we've had an awesome time here at the 2022 NPC National Championship. I'm Jason Albrecht alongside Neil Hill, Skylar Lanier. We wish you a safe night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for tuning in.
National Championship. The legacy continues. On behalf of our IFBB president, Mr. Jim May.
See you in Las Vegas, ladies.
Vice President
2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks.
Judges for the entire weekend. Big Steve, Sandy Williamson, Tyler. That's going to wrap it up on behalf of Gary Unit, our show promoter, and everybody else involved here at the Nationals. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Robin Chang, special shout out. I don't know if that was out. There's Robin. And Tarek, just because I love you, brother. That's going to wrap it up here on the main stage. I'm Bob Ciccarello. Good night, everybody.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the song. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back.